All of our classes and the game itself has all been designed. We have a high-level design doc. We'll certainly be working out more details in the future, but these are plans that are part of the game. Whether we end up doing them as stretch goals, or we may end up doing them after launch as digital downloads or expansions, but they're pretty much set in place. The $800,000 goal is something that gets us going. We hope to bring in more via Kickstarter, which will allow us to get even further, bring in new personnel, new programmers, artists, designers. But we may have to reach out to some publishers, some investors, and see where it goes from there. The majority of dungeons and outdoor adventure areas in Pantheon will not be instants. You'll be able to walk around, go wherever you want, meet people, see other people in combat, and so on. We will use instancing to some degree, where we want to tell a linear storyline, something that's really part of the lore, kind of a special event, but the majority will be open world. There will definitely be different religions and deities that players can choose to follow. They'll also encounter NPCs that follow a certain deity or pantheon of gods. In fact, this is a huge part of the game, and one of the reasons we called it Pantheon is that all these factions will exist. The majority of them will probably be religious-based, and players can choose to follow those factions to gain reputation, to gain access to certain parts of the world, or to complete certain quests. They'll also be able to use it just to kind of personalize. Let's say they find a certain deity that they think is really cool for their class to follow. They'll be able to do that as well. Looting should be fairly straightforward in Pantheon. If you see an NPC, a mob, with a sword in his hand, and you kill that mob, you should get a sword. This may not be completely true in all cases, but it's definitely our desire that it's that way. You shouldn't be killing a snake and getting a breastplate from the snake. You should get snake scales or something. Dungeons in Pantheon will be huge. They will be complex in many cases, although sheer complexity, there's more to making a dungeon than that. You need to make it interesting. You need to make it a challenge to map and to explore. We want them to be fairly large, if not crazy large, because we want players to be able to get to a certain degree. Maybe they spend 2 hours and they get to a certain point in this large dungeon, but they need to stop for the day, because we really realize that a lot of the people who want to play Pantheon, maybe back in the day when they played EverQuest, they could spend 6, 8, or 10 hours playing this game straight. And that's just not realistic anymore. They've grown up, they have lives and spouses and jobs. So it's important to us that we capture that old school feeling, but that also we accommodate the reality that is that our player base is going to have. So there'll be different points along the road where you can log off and say, hey guys, tomorrow let's log back in and into the safe area and continue on exploring and doing this dungeon. As Chief Creative Officer of Visionary Realms and on Pantheon, I will be one of the producers, as will Salim Grant. So he and I will be managing the development team, the designers and the artists and the programmers. That said, I really enjoy design work. I just recently did about 1.5 years of design work back at Sony and had a really great time, learned a lot, kind of reminded me what it was like being back in the trenches. So I do hope that I'll get a chance to contribute at least something, a dungeon here or there, or an adventure. That would make me happy. I'd have a lot of fun doing so.